Hello everyone. It is for you Thursday afternoon. I'm pre-recording this video since I won't be available this Thursday afternoon. So I'm recording this on Sunday. But this week I have been sharing the Simply Leaves. And it's a bundle. It has a punch that goes with it. So we are going to use this in my team meeting at the end of July, but I thought I would share with you this week the cards that I created. So this is the one I'm going to demonstrate for you today. If you are new to my Facebook Live, usually I'm live, but I wanted to go ahead and get something recorded since I couldn't be with you live. There will be on my blog the dimensions for this, so if you want to make this card or something similar to it, you have those dimensions. There are a couple of other new items I'm using on this card. One is the textured tree ring 3D embossing folder. Isn't that fun? And so it's in the background here. There you go. There's a good picture of it. And then the other thing I'm using is this Gingham. So this is the 2026 to 2028 Gingham gallery. So it's each new in color has two papers, 2 pages, 2 sheets. So you've got Golden Glow, Barely Blush, Hydrangea Hue. So one side is a bigger check, Gingham, and the other is smaller. I forget. I think this is Peaceful Pine. I always get confused if it's Peaceful Pine or Perfect Pine. It's Peaceful Pine. And then there should be, there it is, Crisp Cantaloupe. So that's all of them. I think I showed you Hydrangea Hue here. Yeah. So there are all your in colors in this gorgeous gingham. So all of the cards that I made with this Simply Leaves set, I used the gingham. So you can see I used the Golden Glow there, and I paired it with Early Espresso. So this is kind of a fall color palette. But let me show you how I did this. So I'm going to, I've already cut everything out. You can see I punched the leaves out of my mat because that's going to be under there and nobody will know. We're going to set this aside. We're going to stamp on these two. So I'm going to stamp, actually we are going to stamp on the inside of the card base too, so I'll bring that back in a minute. But I'm using Early Espresso. We're just going to stamp thanks down in the corner. We're going to do all our stamping first. So just down in this corner. And then, let's bring this in. We're going to stamp on the inside. And it says, I'm grateful for your kindness. So we're just going to stamp that on the inside. And then the last thing we're stamping is some veins on this. So I punched this leaf out of the gingham, the Golden Glow gingham. And we're just going to stamp some veins in there. Just gives it a little more interest. All right, that is all of our stamping. Now before we can put this all together, I'll set that out of the way, we need to take this piece. I'm going to set all these over here so I don't lose anything. And run it through the embossing, our Stamp and Cut and Emboss machine in the embossing folder. So let me bring that in real quick. Let me scoot you up. It's always so close to that. All right. So let's get our tree ring embossing folder out. When I was first designing this, I thought, well, maybe I'll just do the tree ring on the upper part and just leave this not embossed so you could stamp. But if I did that, then you wouldn't get this beautiful inside, you know, the main part of the tree ring. So I just decided we would emboss it after the fact. And you can still read it. All right, so we need our base plate. So this is a 3D embossing folder. Put our embossing folder in there, and then this plate number 4. And then just run that through. get this out of the way. And we can put everything together. Let me scoot you back down a little bit. So now we have this beautiful tree ring. Isn't that gorgeous? Okay. Bring all of our pieces back and we'll start putting everything together. And I have some twine too. I don't think I pointed that out. So let's add this to our mat. Again, the dimensions will be on my blog. And so I'm just going to put it around the outside because I don't want to put it in the middle where it will glue this to my paper. I think these two go well together, the Golden Glow and the early espresso. So I'm just holding that down for a few seconds so that glue can get adhered. All right, then let's put that on our card base. Let's make sure we have it going the right way since we've already stamped the inside. That would be bad. There we go. Now, the way I did my leaves is I kind of laid them out and then I put a little bit of glue on those. And stuck them together. You don't have to do this. You can do them all separately, but for me, for some reason, this seemed easier to me. All right, there they are. It's like somewhere I have dimensionals. All right. And I just put took the top of it off. 2 dimensionals on each leaf. There we go. And then just put that in the middle of your card. And then I took the twine and doubled it. And then I tied a bow. Because it's so thin, I like to double it when I'm just putting a bow on like this. Oops. Come back here. Nope, I lost a loop. All right, I'll have to try this again. Well, if I can find my ends to undo it. All right, let's try this again. I'm going to be sure I pull both of those through. Usually it's not this difficult. I did it again. All right, you know, doing it on camera just makes it 10 times harder. When I did it earlier today, when I was making this card, I had no trouble. There we go. Now don't pull my ends through. Now we still have a loop missing. Where's this one's other loop? Oh my goodness. just had to not talk while I was doing it. Okay. Then you can trim your ends a little bit. And I like to use a glue dot to put my ribbons on with, or my twine. And that way, if it's sticking out too much on the top or bottom, you can just kind of fold it over on itself. Then you don't have a lot of adhesive sticking out. And I just put it right on the base of that. And that is it. Other than it taking me several tries for the bow, it's an easy card. So there you go. So next week, I should be back live, and somebody will win this card next week. So I decided not to draw today on Sunday. This is last week's card, but I will draw on Thursday and then post it after this video has posted, so you'll know who won this. Because I didn't feel it was fair to draw on Sunday, because somebody might not watch it till, Monday through Wednesday or even Thursday morning. So that gives you more time to comment and be in the drawing for this. And then the next week, I will give that away. All right. And if you missed it, when did I do that? I don't remember when I showed these, but just in case, maybe I guess it was just this last week's Facebook Live. I keep forgetting that I'm doing this ahead of time. But I did make a couple of cards with the new hot foil system from Stampin' Up. This just came out a few days ago. We were able to buy it a little bit earlier, but it just became available for everybody a few days ago. It is so fun. They don't expect it to last long. As of this filming, it is still available. You do need, let me show you. I showed you this last Thursday, but just to show you again, this is the meat of it. So this is what powers up and gets hot. And then you have specific dyes. You have other accessories that go with that. But I'll do a video on it at some point. I just haven't had a chance yet. But you have specific dyes. This is what I used for the butterfly, and they have masks that go with them. This was the other one I used. That's the background one. There's this bundle that is stamps and dies. They don't, like the dies are just for hot foiling, so it's just going to put this beautiful texture in whatever foil you use. And then you can stamp too, and I can't wait to play with that one. And then this is an alphabet, so you can foil it and then die cut them out. And you can see that the hot foil dies have a different color on the front, so you know what they are. And they are heavier too. So if that's something you're interested in, I would grab it now while you can. The other things will be available, even if they sell out later this year, or on a more normal schedule. But they said if that machine sells out, they will not get any more back in until the end of the year. So don't delay on that. You do need the big Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. That's what you run it through after it's heated up the foil, and that's what presses it into the cardstock. So you do need to have the big one of the Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. Okay, I think that's it for today. I'm sorry I couldn't be with you live, but hopefully you still enjoyed having a video to watch, and I will see you next week. Bye.